Hello and welcome to another how-to video for Google Classroom. Today I'm going to be telling you about how to edit and create Google Docs out of Word documents or from scratch and upload them for your assignments. Now please remember that I am no expert with the Google Classroom platform, so it's a case of, as we say sometimes, the blind leading the blind. So excuse me if I don't get everything perfect for you, but this should help you at least a little bit. So here we have a student in year 3, a guided reading task I'm going to look at guided reading session 2. And this is what you'll be met with. If I view the assignment as a whole, we have this add or create markers done. So I'm going to click on this. Now this allows me to preview the document, to see it before I do anything with it. What I'm going to do is open this in Google Docs. This now opens it in a sort of equivalent of what we use at school of Microsoft Word, and this is a Microsoft Word document, but Google Docs can read it and you can edit it. So I can change the name of, actually no I can't, oh yes I can, here I can change the name of the document if I want to. I can put my name in there, and so on and so forth, and you have lots of different tabs up here, and the ribbon is quite similar to Microsoft Word that you've used at school. So imagine that I'm going to do some work, and here I'm going to answer these questions. Which person is the story written in, and why do you think the author chose to do this? I think it, I don't want that to be a bullet point, so I'm going to just press enter. I think this story is written in the first person to make it feel like you are the person in the story. I have no idea. I don't know. I've just made that up. And imagine I'm going to put different answers for these different questions. Now, there we go. Imagine I want to submit this. I'm not going to do anything else on this document, but imagine this is the document I want to submit for my assignment. So what I can do is, what actually happens with these is they save as you work on them. So this is already effectively saved, and it tells you this: all changes saved in Drive. Every change you make is automatically saved in Drive. Last edit was seconds ago. So this is already saved in the Drive. Now what that means is that I don't really need to save it. In fact, when you come down here, there's no option in the file. Normally there'll be an option to save on most programs. There is no option to save because it saves it as you do it. I can download this to my own computer, and it will be a Microsoft Word document or any of these types of document. You can save it as a Microsoft Word document and then upload it again if you really want. But it is saved in your Google Drive. So now if I go back to the guided reading session 2, it's over here. I can actually close this and it should be saved. Now I'll remember the answers I've just wrote. So if I close this down, there is no evidence of the work I've just done anywhere on this page. But if I go to add or create, I can, instead of going to create a new doc, and I'll show you that in a second, I can go to my Google Drive where that piece of work will now be saved. So here's my most recent one, the guided reading one, and I'm going to just double click on that and it will upload it here. So that is me having opened that, worked on it. I didn't rename it, but here it is if I want to look at it again and change it again. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this, and I'm going to call it Mr. P Guided Reading Session 2. So now that would have saved again. And we can see that this is the one that I was working on because it has the answer that I just wrote in. So now I can close that down. And if I open that up again, it should be now called Mr. P Guided Reading Session 2. So actually, when I edit it from opening it up here and make any changes, it will change the submitted document. Or I can just get rid of that. And I can go back here and I can go to my Google Drive and I can here go to my most recent one. You can look for where it might be and you can search for all the work that you've done, but I know it's my most recent one, Mr. P Guided Reading. I'm going to double click on that and it will submit it there. So that is one way of submitting an assignment using Google Docs from the Word document I did. Now another way, I'm going to duplicate this tab and I'll explain why. Another way is I'm going to open this so I know what to do. Here are my questions and I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to add or create, and I'm going to create a new Google Doc. So instead of editing the one that the teacher already had for me, I am going to create a brand new document. And here it is. And it's called Student H, so I'll call that Mr. P. Mr. P2. And I am going to go back to this one, see what the question is. Okay, I might want to put the date up here. I'll put the date, I'll put my name, and I'll put question 1, blah de blah de blah. Question 2, blah de blah de blah. Question 3, blah de blah de blah. And I've created a new document from scratch. And this is Guided Reading 2. Oh, look at my typing. I'll have to edit that. Right, Guided Reading 2. So there, I've done that. And again, it saves it automatically. So I can just close that down. And what I'm going to do, I had that open so I could refer back to my questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the one I assigned before. I'm going to assign that new one I did again from my Google Drive because it will have saved in my Google Drive. Here I had that first one I did and here's the one I created from scratch. Let's just upload that. And there it is. And in fact, if I want to check to make sure it had everything on it that I wrote, here it is. And I can close that. And there you go. That is submitting an edited Word document or a brand new Google Doc. And if I want to download that work that I have previously worked on or created, remember I go to File and it will download it in whatever format you set it. And if you've got Microsoft Word at home, you can download it as a Microsoft Word document. Other than that, you can just do a general text document or even a PDF. So that is how to edit and how to work on a Google Docs document. The last thing I'm going to show you in this little video is what to do when I come across a PDF document. Now, PDF documents are documents that you can't generally edit. Okay, it's not very easy to write with a computer on them. They're very good for people to use because everyone can read a PDF. But doesn't matter what program you've got, they're generally able to be read for free. So that's why PDFs are useful, but they're not very good at being edited. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And I'm going to duplicate my tab again, so that I can play around with two different tabs. Now I'm going to open this and I am going to have this to refer to. Now loads of people have done this PSHE piece of work and they've drawn out balloons and done some wonderful work. So that's fantastic. And you can do this in whatever way you want. But here's an example of how I could look at using this PDF. So I'm going to go and create a new Google Doc. Okay. So here it is being created. And there we have it, an empty document. Now I'm going to use this PDF, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little picture of this balloon using the snipping tool. And if you don't have the snipping tool on your computer, you can print screen and change that copies your screen and just crop your photograph to whatever size you want. I'm going to do just a rectangular snip of this. There we go, job done. Now normally it saves that in your clipboard, but for some reason it doesn't work very well with Google Classroom here. So what I'm going to do is save that little image to my computer. I'm going to call it Balloon 1. There we go. And I'm going to go to my Google document here. That I have my name, date and title, and I am going to insert image from my computer. I can save it in all these other places, but I'm going to or take it from all these other places, but this time I'm going to upload it from my computer. And I'm going to find where I've put it on my computer, and I'm going to insert it. So there I've inserted that little picture of that balloon. And what's great now is I can insert a little text box. So you go to insert drawing, new. I'm going to do a new drawing. Now this is on Microsoft Word what you call a text box, inserting a text box. So you go to here to text box, and however big you think you're going to want it. So what I'm going to say here is I am a good friend because I listen really well. And like to talk with my friends. Okay, so there we have a nice little text box that we can just sort of change the size of. There we go, and I'm going to save and close. And now that is there. The question is, how do I move it into there? And here I have my text box. Now it gets a bit funky here, so I have to click on both of my images. I have to click on both of my images, right click on them to bring up my image options, and I need to make sure that wrap text is selected on both of these things so that I can put them where I want. I'm not going to go into explaining why that's the case, but you need both things to have wrap text selected so that you can move one on top of the other. And there I have my piece of work done on the computer. I didn't have to print anything off. I've just taken a picture of one of the balloons and I've put the balloon there and I've put a little text box in it. And you can play around with how that then works with doing your next one. So, for example, I can do a new snipping picture, take another picture of a different balloon, save that as balloon 2, and go back to here and insert an image from my computer balloon 2. Then I'm going to insert drawing. And this was I am really good at. And my text box is going to say I'm really good at art. Okay, because it's got a dot dot dot, so I'm going to finish that sentence. It's making it automatically go to a capital. I'm really good at dot 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 art. And then I'm going to say something about that. I love painting the most and paint pictures for my family. And there we go. I'm going to bring that up to there. I'm going to save and close. I'm going to make sure that that is wrap text. That is wrap text. And then I can move them where I want. And once you have wrapped text correctly for both, you can move that one back into the other balloon. And there I have 2 balloons now. And I can continue doing that and create a Word or a Google Docs document from the PDF I was doing before and write on parts of the PDF that I've taken pictures of. Or what I could do, so if I just get rid of everything here, delete. So I have an empty page. I could go back to here and make it smaller. And take a snip of all of these balloons. Save it as balloon all. Insert image from my computer and balloon all. And there I've saved it all. I could even make it a little bit bigger if I wanted. And I could then do some little text boxes in order to fill those balloons. And instead of taking individual pictures of each balloon, I can take a picture of all of the balloons, however you want to do it. And then as it's saved, I mean that's now saved. This is going to be Mr. P3. Having changed the name of that, that is now my latest version of this. And if I want to upload it, I can go to my Google Drive and there's Mr. P3 and I can add that one. Or I can add multiple documents or whatever it is I want to do. Anyway, that's just a little insight on how to use Google Docs and how to edit some of the Word documents on your Google Classroom platform. If you have any questions, please let us know. Good luck with all of your work.